Winter, the toughest season of them all when it comes to carp fishing. Bitterly cold north and northeasterly winds, ice, snow, sleet, dormant carp that don't really want to feed. But if one man can put us on fish, it's Jim Shelley.
Blooming hell, carper's nightmare here. Lake's frozen. We're going to have a scout around, eh mate, and have a look, see if we can put some baits over there. Looks like it might be even a bit clear, so we're going to have a quick look around and see what happens. But hopefully we'll be able to get a few leads in under the ice. Never know, we might even have a carp under the ice. So proper winter fishing here, eh? We've got a decent sleeping bag here. It's a Nash zero tolerance. It's got a winter inner as well. If you notice, there's a foam here for the back against your bed chair. Sorry. Basically, what we want is, like, if you don't have that, you get a lot of damp coming up, and once your back is damp, you've got like frost under here. This time of the year, you're going to get very cold. So I always sleep on foam. Bag of food, can't have enough food. Biscuits, tin stuff, soup. Decent stove, loads of petrol, so if it does get really cold, you get cold hands from having a fish, or you just get cold, keep yourself warm. You can never have enough petrol. Water for your drinks, coffees, pans, power pack, charge your mobile phone, watch your DVD player, loads of bait. Decent sized landing net for the carp we're going to be catching. Carp tech cradle. Then the rods. Put the rods on top. Keep an eye on them, keep them safe. Make sure you keep your rods angled upwards, so like as you barra tips, you ain't going to break the tips. As you can see, the barrel's loaded up. This is all we'll need for winter fishing. quite like this swim here, you know. Nice and overgrown, we can get in here and do a bit of stalking. Look, plenty of cover here. You can see we've got another bay here. Look at the reeds over the back there. Always a good area to hold carp. Nice shallow area, deep out the back. What more could be asked for? Well, these bays here look brilliant here. I reckon when the sun comes up, there's going to be a chance of fish around here. Them reeds there, even got some clear water over there. Definitely worth a look. If you haven't got a pair of glasses, Polaroid glasses, I would say best you get some. I always like to set the net up first. You never know, you might get a bite and you don't want to, while the rod's on the ground, so you get a take. You don't want your net not set up because you might lose the fish. Oh well, let's hope we get some blooming water soon.
As the sun comes up and starts to thaw, Jim's finally able to sort through his rig bits and get a bait right on the spot in the one area of clear water.
As I'm only going to spend maybe a couple of hours here, I'm just going to lay the rods on the ground. So basically I don't want to lose my rod, so just set the clutch, bait runner on so it can take line easy. I like fishing slack line anyway, so I can watch the line a lot. And we just lay it down like that. What I'm looking for here, yeah, like with the slack line, look, I'm watching for that, yes, liners or, you know, or when I get a take.
Despite finding clear water, it's not long before sunset brings another freeze up and the lake is solid.
Right, I'm off now, lake's frozen, and I think I'll come back in a few days and see what happens.
So we're back at England again, Jim, and it's still very, very cold.
Yeah.
But at least the water's liquid, so I reckon we might have a bit of a better chance than we did last time you were here, mate.
Yeah, too right. At least the ice is gone, mate. I think we best get the rods out, I think.
You're itching to get those rods out. Let's go for it, mate. I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah, see you later, Stephen. Bye.
1 week has made a big difference. Southwesterly winds have brought in a warm front with rain. The lake is clear and Jim's on fish.
Right, let's get the rig on. You see the knots here? Oh, it's just a simple loop knot. Make sure you wet it before you pull it tight. It's easy as that, look, done. That's all we want. Nice and simple. Right, cut the tag off. Form your hair. Got an old baity needle with the end broken off, so pull it tight. Right, boilies. I'm quite into dumbbells, sort of shaped boilies. They sit nice on the silt. I'm using Nash Scopex Squid Plus. See the length of the hair there? You're already about 80 to 90% different than most anglers just by the length of that hair, and I'd say to me that's sort of like quite short. Right, what we've got here, we've got a size 8 hook. It's a quarter wide gape, bit of shrink tubing just to turn the eye in, and a little bit of tubing down here. I like this right at the end, and basically what I'm going to show is like, as soon as that pulls over your hand, you can imagine that's inside of the mouth, look, turns straight away. Basically this stuff is it's like PVA, it's like a funnel web stuff. Goes down on the bottom, then it dissolves. Now all I do here, take the hook once, twice, so you've got a nice bunch there, so it's it can survive the cast and it isn't going to smash off. Now the other part of it is like, why I like doing this, I don't want that going round the hook or anything, and I don't, so what I do then is just need the boilie stop in. So basically that's all holding itself then, like that, and that's what we want. Right, I've cast further than I need to go. So what we're doing now, we're going to find a bit of gravel in the sill. Like now we're watching the rod tip. See the rod is just smooth. Now what we're looking for now is tapping on the rods. See it, look, it's tapping now. So that's the gravel now. When you use this, you're using like floating braid. So you have a lot of problems with tow with the braid. So wherever you say I'm going to cast to the right of that float, I want to put the rod way to the left. So put it way to the left because I don't want my braid, sinking braid, going over the floating braid. And all you do is just let it up gently so it keeps tight, nice and tight like that, and then out comes the float there.
Having found a gravel spot that Jim's happy to present his bait on, it's a simple case of clipping up and making sure the bait drops right on the spot.
About time this one. That's a nice old chunk there. Get out of there. Sorted.
It's a decent fish, and after a long fight it's in the net. Most important is the fact that Jim is out and catching fish in conditions which would have kept most carp anglers at home. If you can get baits in the water, no matter what the time of year, you can catch.
Right, we're getting the fish out. You don't want to keep handling it too much. So put it in the net, just wrap it down. Make sure the pecks are laying beside the body, which you can see they are. Grab the rod. In we go. Keep ready at all times, because I do go into a bit of a mental, flipping around like that. So we don't want you getting on the floor, so keep them tight. Ah, look at that nice hook hold there. Must have been well hungry, this one. I'm not into all that forceps and tweezers stuff. If I need something like that, I'd rather use a twig. Something sharp like tweezers can only add to damage.
One of the joys of winter carping is the glorious colours which the fish exhibit at this time of year. Chestnuts, browns and golden hues, they really are a joy to behold.
Nice big scale on there, lovely fish. Recognise that one again. I think we call that one half a tail. Keep plenty of water on them. It's a nice 23 pounder, isn't it?
7 more, mate.
That's what you want for a nice winter's morning, isn't it? tight in the swim, I mean. Go down here. Back to fight another day. Morning, time to get the kettle on. Bit fresh today.
It's a quiet night, and at first light Jim's on the move. The wind's picked up and he thinks the fish might have moved.
Right, Jim?
Hello, mate.
I reckon I'd find you up this end with the wind blowing up here. It's got to be an obvious spot, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen a few moving about at the moment, so it's looking good.
There's a bit of sun as well.
Yeah.
Should get the odd fish up on the
I
top.
reckon they'll get in these reeds.
I reckon they'll get in those reeds as well. I reckon you've got it
Got a
absolutely.
nice chop pushing down the lake to our left, really, so we're just up on the side of the wind.
I reckon you've got it absolutely spot on. I see you've got a couple of rods out already.
Yeah, you know me, I don't mess about, mate.
Bait application is one of Jim's strong points. Whereas many anglers shy away from putting out beds of bait in the winter months, Jim reckons bait application is vitally important. And even though it's the depths of winter, he's got the spot out and he's getting a big bed of bait out for the fish to move over. As well as having a big bed of bait out in front of him, Jim's also boosting the attraction around his hook bait by adding a PVA bag full of pellets and dumbbells. He's increasing the attractiveness further still by dipping it in a pot of CC Moore's glug.
You're using lead core, Jim. Do you always use it?
Oh yeah, very, very rare. I don't. The only time I do is if it's banned on waters. While we're here, I'll show you how to tie that up as well. People seem to have a hell of a problem with this.
Of course, the other thing with lead core is making sure it's fish safe as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not know how to use it properly.
Right, this is how I do it, and it's really, really simple.
Is this the ESP one, Jim?
Yeah, it's the best. Yeah, the best.
Stripping out, what,
Yeah,
3 inches of core?
Yeah, pull it back down. And what you've got to do now is just find where it ends, the lead core inside, which is basically there. Just go a couple of mil past it.
The splicing needle?
Yeah, in and then down. Don't need to go very far, a couple of inches. This is the loop I'm going to form where you tie your main line on. Right, where you've cut it, you'll get an area where it all opens up.
Yep.
And then slightly just peel that back and
the
right
gate.
it's quite tricky, but once you get it right on the end, it's really easy to pull through. This is where people have a hell of a problem doing this. Look, I'm not even hardly doing it and it's coming, look,
It comes straight through, yeah.
And what I like to do now is I get my fingers like that, I pull it down, so basically I pulled it all tight there. I dab of super glue, and then get the old baiting needle again and just pull it tight like that. See, there's no way that's going to come undone.
Yep.
And then just before it goes right off and sets the glue, I strip a little bit back, like that, and then there you go.
Perfect.
There's no knot or swivel, or it's just anything can run over that.
And using a running lead, it's just totally safe because the lead's just going to pass straight over it as well in the show.
There you go. See, it's really easy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's fish safety wise.
100%.
We don't want them towing this sort of gear around, you know, with leads on the end. And I'll show you as well with an inline lead. I don't personally have that tubing inside.
No,
I like to take it out.
Yep.
Like I'll show you again. And it's just I'd put one of these little grommets in the end. Just put it on like that, and you can see that runs on and off so easy, look.
Yeah.
And that's what we want, and then just fix it in the bottom.
Perfect.
Like that.
100% fish
and then
safe.
That comes out again, look.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Brilliant.
It's easy as that.
Right, let's get a bait on it, mate.
There you go. Right.
What are these? These are the old Scopex squid barrels you're using, Jim?
Yeah, from Nash. Yeah, Gary Bays makes these for me. I like these shape as well.
Do you use particularly highly flavoured ones for winter or just the standard?
I only actually use two baits really, Ian. It's the Scopex Squid Plus and it's Amber Attractor with strawberry oil, which I've actually had made for me.
Okay.
I normally use, when I'm fishing, both baits to be quite honest. You can normally use two or three rods, so I just like to have a little mess around. I like the white baits as I normally feed them on the bottom, but fish a pop up over the top. But when I'm fishing the Scopex, I just like to fish bottom baits all the time.
Well, perhaps do a pop-up on your other rod. I guess you're going to fish one on one rod.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you can see, look at that hair.
It's a long hair. But it works.
The weather's deteriorated rapidly. There's icy showers, bitterly cold winds, but interspersed with areas of better weather, which sees the carp moving around in front of Jim again, and it's not long before he finally gets his second take, and it feels like a good fish too. This time it's one of the lake's commons, a pristine looking fish of mid-doubles which has been pulled into the area by the attraction that Jim's put out there. Jim's baiting methods at times produce an awful lot of criticism from other anglers, but there's no doubting their effectiveness. At this time of year when most people are cutting back on bait, using high attract single hook baits and minimal feed, Jim continues to keep the bait going in, and what's more, the fish keep feeding. And this lovely common is just one example of the numerous fish Jim catches by using methods which other people wouldn't dream of using in the winter. It's different, but it works. Jim gets his baits back on the spot straight away, but despite catching in this area, he's got his eye on the water, and seeing signs of fish at the other end of the lake, he's prepared to move.
Yeah, late this afternoon, we had a little wander down here. Found a hell of a lot of fish, sort of like moving around, a little bit of fizzing, and it'd be rude not to sort of move down here, so I come down. Sitting out here now, and I've seen about 30 fish topping, and we had a small one, about 13 to 15 pound common, so it's looking really conducive for a bite tonight. Oh Ian, look at that. I reckon there's something sniffing around out there, mate.
Yeah, there's been a couple of liners. I mean, it's getting bloody cold again, but I think there's a few fish moving.
Yeah, same old spot down the right there on that bar, I reckon.
You picked fish up off there before?
Yeah, I've had a couple down there now. So I think we'll give it last sort of like 12 hours in this swim, see what happens by the morning. And I suppose we'll be on the move again.
Yeah, I think once the sun gets up tomorrow, same as today, those fish will be moving down the other end of the lake again. And best plan, I guess, is see where they're moving and follow them, Jim.
Oh, too right in. I think it'll be rude not to be down there, mate.
Certainly. I think a lot of people get far too stereotyped when they plot up for winter. They get comfortable. They sit in one swim and they often don't keep their eyes on the water and they don't want to move.
Yeah.
And whatever time of year, if you see fish, you've got to get on them. So many people think cold weather, get in the deep water. But the fact is, a lot of the time, the fish aren't in the deeps. They're certainly not always on the bottom. A lot of success I know people have on zig rigs, cruising fish in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
And as soon as the sun's out, look for those areas that the sun hits early on, the sun is on throughout the day, shallow water, that the fish will be on it.
Yeah, they like reed beds anyway, don't they?
Reed, dying weed, shallows.
Snags.
Snags, yeah, absolutely.
Don't forget the snags.
What have we got here then, Jim?
Well, this is one of my favourite sort of swims. This is nice and close, a set of snags right beside you, and as you can see here.
Yeah.
If I was going to fish here, I'd bivvy back as far as I possibly could and keep the noise very minimal, really. Shall we have a little look in these snags?
Yeah.
When approaching snags, keep yourself covered up, a hat, put your coat up, hands in your pockets, anything white, they're on the lookout for this sort of thing. Watch what you're standing on here as well. Ian, this is the sort of place they love this, don't they, mate? They're always in here, like these safe areas.
Absolutely perfect for them, quiet, safe.
I'd sit here for hours, you know, even like feeding them a bit of bait, just to sort of like see their interest on certain...
Jim, is that a back just coming out the water there, look, just moving across the top.
Oh yeah, blooming hell, Ian, look.
Good fish as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Oh, let's creep out, not disturb them.
Yeah. I like the look of this swim, Ian.
Oh, look at that reed line, Jim.
Yeah. Just look over there, mate. Look, can you see? Look, rubbing against them reeds there.
The reeds are knocking. There's a fish or two in there, for sure.
As you can see from this swim here, we've got, well, a set of reeds here. They love getting in this sort of area, and it'll be very silty. I would have thought through here you've got a bit of a gully as well.
Absolutely ideal, as you say. There's a lovely little channel leading around the back of those reeds as well.
I reckon right down here, Ian.
Right in the edge, you can just see them moving off that shallow plateau, going around the edge of those reeds. Yeah, and again, that reed's knocking again,
Oh, yeah,
Jim.
mate, yeah. I think we better
There's
get a
fish
rod
in there.
here.
Get a rod in there, mate.
Two rods, two right. They are, Ian. Look over here, mate. Look, we're right above the reeds here. I've got to have a bit of this, Ian.
I'd get a little bit of bait out there and see if anything moves on it, Jim. They're certainly down there. Oh, it's going to be another cold one, Jim.
Yeah, I know.
We had -3 last night. I reckon we're in for the same again.
Yeah, at least that I would have thought.
Mind you, I noticed you haven't got the old double skin on. I'd have thought in winter you'd be under a couple of skins.
Oh, Ian, you know me, mate. If I see any fish in the night, mate, I want to be able to move really quick, you know. So, as a rule, I sort of just stick to what I got and rely on. Like I've got a decent heavy-duty ground sheet.
Yeah.
A nice foam mattress, so the damp don't come up underneath. So my back's nice and warm, and then a decent bag. As long as you've got a decent bag, it doesn't matter really. And this one's one of them summer and then like the winter combo. You just put it in, it's a nasty frostbite.
So you can just velcro the winter
middle
in and off you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Suppose lots of hot drinks.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. You know, the old Marmite OXO cubes. Definitely.
Yeah, long old nights in winter. It does pay to make sure you've got plenty to do.
Decent coat. I see you've got a decent one. I've got a padded one here.
Good coat. It's going to be a hard night, but you never know.
On these long, cold, dark nights, you can't beat having one of these little babies. My girlfriend Jane bought me this, and it's a DVD player. So highly recommended one of these. There you go, 10-inch screen as well, luxury. Mate. Go on, mate, put it in there.
He's ours. Well done, mate.
Sweet!
Well done.
Guy coming behind you, Ian. He's floating.
As soon as the sun's up, the fish are on the move again, and the snags we'd pinpointed the day before were an obvious area for Jim to put a bait.
Got the red colours on it, Ian.
Absolutely marvellous, mate. See where that hook hold is?
Oh, that's it.
It's out.
Yeah, it's out.
Brilliant.
You hold him there, Ian, yeah?
Slip that net out. Lovely. Absolutely superb.
There you go, that's what it's all about.
What bait did you have him on, Jim?
Scopex squid.
One of the little barrels?
Yeah,
And just a tiny bag of pellet with it?
that's it.
That's actually a fish that Jim had actually seen mooching on the surface. A bit of winter sun, they're up on the surface. Jim thought they might be having it in the shallow water. And a Scopex squid barrel, bag
They
of
love
pellets.
it in them reedy corners, don't they?
Absolutely, perfect little winter spot. The sun was out, bit of warmth, and they're soon on the spots.
Look at the colours on that, isn't that lovely?
Absolutely marvellous. One of the joys of winter carping. See those wonderful dark brown, chestnutty colours on the fish. Different animals to the ones we've been catching in the spring and summer. Absolutely marvellous to catch them in the winter. Right, let's see what it weighs. Do you want me to read that off?
Yeah, go on then.
That is exactly 25.
25, lovely. I noticed there was a bit of damage. Did you see that, Ian, just here?
Tiny little bit. Lovely, that'll do the job nicely.
Right, should we get him back, mate?
Superb.
I've got to say a big thank you very much there, mate.
No problem at all. It's been a pleasure having you on our waters as always, Jim. And
C-Max again, you know, it's definitely the way forward. Anyone looking to fish on sort of carp waters, history in the making as far as I'm concerned.
And to end up here with such a cracking result.
I just think, Ian, this was frozen less than a week ago. Come back and had a right result.
Absolutely, what a wonderful way to end the series.
Yeah, thanks very much, mate.
Cheers.
Thank you.